My name is Lisa, and I had just moved into a quiet suburban neighborhood, a peaceful, safe place surrounded by greenery. The houses were spaced out just enough to provide privacy, and the neighbors all seemed friendly. On the surface, it was the perfect place to start fresh, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. My next-door neighbor, Mr. Thompson, was an older man who lived alone. He often tended to his garden or walked his dog, appearing harmless, a typical retiree. However, I began noticing subtle behaviors that unsettled me. Whenever our paths crossed, he would stare a little too long, as if studying me, which made me uncomfortable. Late at night, I started hearing muffled voices from his house. They weren't the usual sounds of a TV or casual conversation, but hushed whispers, as if someone were speaking in low tones, trying not to be heard. Additionally, his curtains were always drawn tightly shut, even during the day, a stark contrast to other neighbors who enjoyed the daylight. I began to wonder what he was hiding. One evening, while retrieving my mail, Mr. Thompson invited me over for a cup of tea. We weren't well acquainted, so I politely declined. He then leaned closer, lowered his voice, and warned, "You should stay away from the woods behind our house. It's not safe." His tone was serious, and his eyes darted nervously toward the trees at the edge of his property. I shrugged it off as harmless, but the urgency in his voice lingered in my mind. A week later, I was walking in my garden and noticed his back door slightly ajar. Curiosity got the better of me, and I approached quietly, peering through the crack. What I saw inside made my blood run cold. The walls were covered in photographs of me. Some were taken in my yard, others through my windows. Shots of me standing in my living room, sitting at my kitchen table, and even sleeping in my bed. It was clear these photos were taken without my knowledge. In the corner of the living room, an old tape recorder played my conversations, my voice, my laughter, my words. He had been recording me without my consent. Horrified, I backed away from the door, my mind racing. I ran back to my house, locked the door, and tried to process what I had just discovered. The next day, I went to the police. When they arrived at Mr. Thompson's house, he was gone. There was no sign of him. His house was empty, as if he had vanished overnight. The photographs and tape recorder were gone, and the police found no evidence of what I had seen. It was as if he had never been there at all. I never saw Mr. Thompson again. I couldn't shake the feeling that he had been watching me for much longer than I had realized. To this day, I'm haunted by the thought that someone was observing my every move. I moved away from that neighborhood, but the sense of being watched still lingers, and I can't help but wonder, am I still being watched even now?